All right. So on Monday, we covered on the rebirth part for the enlightened ones, especially on the Sotapanna, the Sakadagami, and the Anagami. I mean, it's a bit of giving a bit of understanding. Exactly for sure, we are not there yet. How do we know? But at least from the perspective of the Dhamma, then we can able to talk about it. Finally, one has to experience those things. The most important thing is the experiencing what happened before Nibbana takes place and how you should develop it. Then the experience of Nibbana, and after that, it will come on its own. What is important is the first two. Now, since we covered on the third noble truth, then now we go to the fourth noble truth. The noble truth of the way leading to the cessation of dukkha. Now here is the Noble Eightfold Path. Then this Noble Eightfold Path, to understand this Noble Eightfold Path, then again, I would like to recap on the Four Noble Truths again. Let me do the screen sharing. Hold on. Okay. All right. Okay, can y'all see? Okay. Now here again, we start off with the principle of this Four Noble Truths. And this is found, I've talked about it way, right at the beginning when we talk about the Four Noble Truths. But it's good that we recap on it every time we go through the Four Noble Truths. So the first one here, and what bhikkhus is the noble truth that is to be fully understood? The noble truth of dukkha is to be fully understood. The noble truth of origin of dukkha is to be abandoned. The noble truth of cessation of dukkha is to be realized. The noble truth of the way leading to the cessation of dukkha is to be developed. To be developed here means also to cultivate. Sometimes you will find that there are translators who like to use the word develop, sometimes use the word cultivate. So it's perfectly all right. So this one we covered, to be fully understood, we covered upon the three types of dukkha, in the sense of dukkha, the painful type of dukkha, and then you have the viparinama dukkha, where the dukkha due to change is connected to the pleasant feelings, and the dukkha due to formation or sankhara dukkha. Then to be abandoned here means abandon the sensual desire, abandon the craving for that eternity, and also the craving for annihilation. To be realized means to able to see Nibbana as it is, to realize Nibbana. And therefore here is to be developed. To develop, that means we have to cultivate, we have to nurture them. And what are the things that we need to nurture? Therefore, it is the Noble Eightfold factors that we have to nurture. Again, on this one again, the second part here, again, we've seen it in the beginning, but again, we'll go through again the dukkha, meaning of oppressing. being formed, burning, changing. This is just all I've gone through with you. What is oppressing, that means it's painful, it's difficult, it's unbearable. Being formed, that means it arises. Burning, that means it's, in a way, it's burning the whole mind and body in that sense. Changing, that means it's going through impermanence and so on. The origin means of accumulating. What does it accumulate? Accumulate karma. Accumulate the 5 aggregates, you accumulate. Source here means the source of all our suffering. Bondage here means it bonds you, it binds you in samsara. Impeding, like for example, we talk about the 10 imperfections. For example, the 10 imperfections, it impedes you from progress. Cessation means escape. Escape here means escape from the 5 aggregates, escape from samsara. Seclusion, again here, secluded from all the defilements, all forms of defilements. Unformed means it cannot arise. There's no arising. Deathless, that means there's no passing away. That's the nature of cessation. Therefore, we come to the path meaning of outlet. Outlet means, like, for example, again, just simple example, like you want a water to go somewhere, you use a pipe, you use a drainage, then it will flow to a certain destination. Cause here means it's the cause, cause in the sense that all the factors of the path those are the cause for mental development to take place. Seeing here means also, that means the mind is paying attention, see it as it really is. Later part, another day, we could talk about this seeing as when it connected with our vipassana. Predominance here means they are predominantly, the factors are predominantly useful for the cessation of dukkha. To experience the cessation of dukkha, that means to experience nibbana. So again here, this outlet, cause, seeing, predominance, we're going to look into it also. We're going to look into it in the next number of days, or number of talks. So this one, it's important for us to remember. Okay? Now when we come to the Noble Eightfold Path, here we have this Noble Eightfold Path. I mean, we need today, tonight, it's more like we're going through an overall. So it's quite simple. It's not difficult for you to understand. It's quite simple for tonight. Noble Eightfold Path here, we start off with the right view, right understanding, right intention, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This one, I hope that you all can able to memorize them, not just only read here, but hopefully all of you can able to memorize. This is the fundamental of our Buddhism. The Four Noble Truths, Noble Eightfold Path, these are the very, very fundamental for us to embark on the journey to get out of samsara. So it is important for us to remember these things. Now, there's the sutta that I shared to you. It's called the analysis. Let me go back again. Okay. Hey, how come it doesn't come out? Hold on, yeah. Where's the... Now, in this sutta, I'm not going to read much for tonight, but this sutta I would just like to remind you all that we shared the download link in Facebook comments and also in the Zoom section in the chat, as you can see. This one is for you to read. You know, the first sutta, second sutta, and third sutta is for you to read. But this sutta, it's in the sense that now the whole Noble Eightfold Path is like a framework. The framework that when you want to learn in the beginning about the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, then we learn from this sutta. Usually they don't quote from this sutta, they will quote it in a more simplified form. But this is the sutta where a lot of all the books are taking it out from. So here, the sutta is, this one is a framework. And it all begins with right view. And what bhikkhus is right view? Knowledge of suffering or knowledge of dukkha, knowledge of origin of dukkha, knowledge of the cessation of dukkha, knowledge of the way leading to the cessation of dukkha. This is called right view. This is normally our understanding. And what bhikkhus is right intention, that one all of you can able to read. But again and again, over the next course, those talks, and we're going to go through, of course, we're going to go back to this framework too. At least you know what is within this Noble Eightfold Path, at least on a general basis. Okay, right. So this one we are not going to do. So I'm going to look back into the other one. As I said that the Noble Eightfold Path, here we have mundane and supramundane. And the mundane here, it's good that for us to go through it. Again, it doesn't come out. Hold on. Okay, now can you see Mahachattarika Sutta? Okay, all right, good.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because sometimes you change the words. You change the file, then sometimes it doesn't come out. It just appear the earlier one. Anyway, since you can able to see good, here I would like to ask Brother Benny to kindly read this sutta number 117. We're going to read from paragraph number 1 to number 9 only. Then the rest are later part. When we got time, we're going to talk about it. We're going to look into the first one.
Okay, thank you, Bhante. Mahachattarika Sutta, the Great 40. Thus have I heard, on one occasion, the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's park. There he addressed the bhikkhus. Thus, bhikkhus, Venerable Sir, they replied, the Blessed One said this. Bhikkhus, I shall teach you noble right concentration with its supports and its requisites. 1099. Listen.
No need to. No need the 1099 on it.
Okay. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say. Yes, Venerable Sir, the bhikkhus replied. The Blessed One said this. What bhikkhus is noble right concentration with its support and its requisites? That is, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, and right mindfulness. Unification of mind equipped with these 7 factors is called noble right concentration with its supports and its requisites. Therein, bhikkhus, right view comes first. And how does right view come first? One understands wrong view as wrong view and right view as right view. This is one's right view. And what bhikkhus is wrong view? There is nothing given, nothing offered, nothing sacrificed, no fruit or result of good and bad actions. No this world, no other world, no mother, no father, no beings who are reborn spontaneously, no good and virtuous recluses and Brahmins in the world who have realized for themselves by direct knowledge and declare this world and the other world. This is wrong view. And what bhikkhus is right view? Right view, I say, is twofold. There is right view that is affected by taints, partaking of merit, ripening in the acquisitions, and there is right view that is noble, taintless, supramundane, a factor of the path. And what bhikkhus is right view that is affected by the taints, partaking of merit, ripening in the acquisitions. There is what is given and what is offered and what is sacrificed. There is fruit and result of good and bad actions. There is this world and the other world. There is mother and father. There are beings who are reborn spontaneously. There are in the world good and virtuous recluses and Brahmins who have realized for themselves by direct knowledge and declare this world and the other world. This is right view affected by taints, partaking of merit, ripening in the acquisitions. And what bhikkhus is right view that is noble, taintless, supramundane, a factor of the path. The wisdom, the faculty of wisdom, the power of wisdom, the investigation of states, enlightenment factor, the path factor of right view in one whose mind is noble, whose mind is taintless, who possesses the noble path and is developing the noble path. This is right view that is noble, taintless, supramundane, a factor of the path. One makes an effort to abandon wrong view and to enter upon right view. This is one's right effort. Mindfully, one abandons wrong view. Mindfully, one enters upon and abides in right view. This is one's right mindfulness. Thus, these three states run and circle around right view. That is, right view, right effort, and right mindfulness.
Sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
All right. Now here is stated by the Buddha. Yeah? When it comes to this Noble Eightfold Path, there will be mundane and there will be supramundane. Mundane means before you gain enlightenment, and supramundane means once you gain enlightenment and beyond that, these are called supramundane. So here in this Noble Eightfold Path, we divide it into two parts. And it's important for us to understand there are two parts here. Because sometimes I heard of people, of devotees, they don't care about all these stuff, things, and they thought that just by learning all this Noble Eightfold Path or Noble Truth, the suttas and so on, then they can really enlighten without putting much effort, without putting much practice into it. So it is important that we have to look, there are two parts of it. In the, let me see, let me go back to my, this one again. Okay. Window. All right. Again, can you all see the Noble Eightfold Path? Okay. Now, in this Noble Eightfold Path, the right view begins. Before you want to talk about your meditation, before you want to talk about morality or anything, you need to have right view. It is important for us that we begin the understanding with right view. We comes with right view, then comes right intention. That one later we'll talk about it. But how does right view comes up? How does right view arises? Here again, there are two parts. Right view arises because there's a voice of another. And voice of another here means a person who is wise enough. A person who is wise enough. And number two, you must have yoniso manasikara. That means you have a wise consideration and or wise reflection. This is the mundane part. This is the right at the beginning part. When we use the word yoniso manasikara while we are in the meditation time, it's not thinking, it's not reflecting anymore. That is the time is attention, direct attention on the object, which is also we use the word yoniso manasikara. So when you use the word yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara, you have to know its context. You know its context. So right now we use the word yoniso manasikara as wise consideration and wise reflection. So for the wrong view to arise, then also the same thing. This one is a voice of another. Another here means a foolish person already. The first one, another, means a wise person. And then with the second one, with the yoniso manasikara, that means you unwise, you reflect it wrongly. You are reflected wrongly or you consider it wrongly. Sometimes the voice of another, maybe also I think also can be also with people who are wise enough to tell you of something. But due to our own delusion, sometimes we can able to twist the word according to what we like, according to what we attach to, and then it also becomes wrong view. So here we're going to look into this right view. So these are the conditions. But in order to expand it further, in order for us to understand this voice of another, then here we look into the next sutta, which is the half of the half of the holy life. Where's the half of the holy life? Okay, hold on. Okay. Can you all see? Can you all see right now? Half of the holy life. All right. Brother Benny, can you read?
Yes, okay. Yes, thank you,
Okay.
Bhante. Half the holy life. Thus have I heard on one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Sakyans, where there was a town of the Sakyans named Nagaraka. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One. Having approached, he paid homage to the Blessed One, sat down to one side, and said to him, Venerable Sir, this is half of the holy life, that is, good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. Not so, Ananda. Not so, Ananda. This is the entire holy life, Ananda. That is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. When a bhikkhu has a good friend, a good companion, a good comrade, it is to be expected that he will develop and cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path. And how, Ananda, does a bhikkhu who has a good friend, a good companion, a good comrade, develop and cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path. Here, Ananda, a bhikkhu develops right view, which is based upon seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, maturing in release. He develops right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, which is based upon seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, maturing in release. It is in this way, Ananda, that a bhikkhu who has a good friend, a good companion, a good comrade, develops and cultivates the Noble Eightfold Path. By the following method too, Ananda, it may be understood how the entire holy life is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship, by relying upon me as a good friend. Ananda, being subjects to birth are freed from birth. Being subjects to aging are freed from aging. Beings subject to death are freed from death. Being subject to sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair are freed from sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, and despair. By this method, Ananda, it may be understood how the entire holy life is good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu. Okay. Now again here, as I said, that the condition for the Noble Eightfold Path to arise, you need the voice of another. That means the voice of another, you need wise friends. You need wise teachers. And here the Buddha regards himself as a Kalyana Mitta. And here again, when the Buddha regards himself as a Kalyana Mitta, therefore beings can be free from the rounds of suffering, the rounds of samsara. But right now we do not have the Buddha as the person is not there. But the Dhamma that been shed down and rolled down to us for over 2,500 years, we still have the Dhamma. But the problem with this Dhamma in books and in especially in the books here is that it's a one-way thing. When you just read the book, you need actually somebody, and you need a wise people, or you need a wise friends, physical, that only they can help you to interpret, to help you to see it from another way, to help you to understand the Dhamma in deeper form or in a clearer form. Just by reading the Dhamma, it is impossible. You can have some idea, but when it comes into the deeper aspect of it, you can have a lot of misunderstanding about the Dhamma. So therefore, for the right view to arise, you need Kalyana Mitta. You need a wise person. And that is important. And sometimes we use this Kalyana Mitta in the wrong manner. We thought that every of our good friends all are Kalyana Mitta. No. Kalyana Mitta is a very specific, that it helps you, to guide you, to encourage you on the path, on the Noble Eightfold Path, on the progress. It's not just any type of friendship. Any type of good friends, even your good friends who come from your childhood until you can meet right now. These are all worldly friends. Although you're best buddy, your best friend forever, but they are not spiritual friends. Spiritual friends is a very specific, as I say again, it can able to guide you, help you, encourage you in this noble eightfold path, or development of the mind, or development of morality, or development of your dana, or development of your mind. You know? So it's a very a specific area, not every of our best friend. So sometimes I see people, posting in their Facebook, posting in the WhatsApp and all that. They use the word Kalyanamita in the wrong manner. This is not Kalyanamita, it's just only best buddy only. So, in another way, now we understand that the spiritual friendship is really important to help us, to guide us, and so on. Now I'm going to show you another sutta, but this time you don't have to read. I'll show you another sutta. In another way, what it means by voice of another and yoniso manasikara, and then it expand the 1 and 2 a little bit more. All right, let me go in again. Okay. Can you see? Can you wait? Hold on. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. Now this sutta, maybe it's too small. Maybe I put it a bit bigger for those who are eyes are a little bit. This sutta. It's from Majjhima Nikaya 95. Chunky sutta. Let me make it smaller. Then let me make it smaller a bit for you all to see. Hold on. Just want to show you the. It's long sutta. This Majjhima Nikaya. I mean, we don't have the time to read everything, But I just want to show you a part there where it's important. This is under Chunky Sutta. So you go back and I didn't this one, but because it's long, but it's only one part I wanted to show you. But if you have the Majjhima Nikaya, and it would be good to go and read the whole sutta. Anyway, the part that I want to show you, which is connected with the noble to the right view here, it's right at the paragraph 20 already. Right at paragraph 20. Here I'm going to expand it again, make it easier to see. Okay. Now the paragraph 20 here. Okay, let me read now. When he has investigated him and has seen that he is purified from the states based on delusion, then he places faith in him. Here, when I start with the paragraph 20, when he investigated him, that means let's say for yourself, you investigated him, you investigated the teacher or the person. Then you have seen that the person is purified from the states based on delusion. The earlier part on the 19, and let me close this. On the 19 partner is the same in the sense that it based on hate. It based on hate. Then earlier on the 18, it based on greed. It based on greed. So other words, when it comes to 20, he already, the person, you want to scrutinize the teacher or the person who give the Dhamma, then you investigate whether the person who has, he reduce his greed or he reduce his hatred and reduce his delusion. Then he places faith in him. Filled with faith, he visits him and pay respect to him. Having paid respect to him, he gives ear. When he gives ear, he hears the Dhamma. Having heard the Dhamma, he memorizes it and examines the meaning of the teaching he has memorized. When he examines their meaning, he gains reflective acceptance of those teachings. When he has gained a reflective acceptance of those teachings, zeal springs up. When the zeal has sprung up, he applies his will. When he applied his will, he scrutinized. He scrutinizes. Having scrutinized, he strives. Resolutely striving, he realizes with the body the supreme truth and see it by penetrating it with wisdom. In this way, Bharadwaja, there is the discovery of truth. In this way, one discovers truth. In this way, we describe the discovery of truth. But as yet, there is no final arriving at truth. Yeah, that's what the Buddha says. Now here before, anyway, we read 21. In what way, Master Gautama, in that way, Master Gautama, there is the discovery of truth. In that way, one discovers truth. In that way, we recognize the discovery of truth. But in what way, Master Gautama, is there the final arrival at truth? In what way does one finally arrive at truth? We ask Master Gautama about the final arrival at truth. The final arrival at truth, Bharadwaja, lies in the repetition, development, cultivation of those same things. In this way, Bharadwaja, there is the final arrival at truth. In this way, one finally arrives at truth. In this way, we describe the final arrival of truth. Here, we go back to 20. Here, it means when you want to hear the Dhamma, you have to visit him or visit her. Of course, right now in the lockdown, you cannot visit many people. All you need to do is visit in your computer at the right time, and then there are some monks or some nuns or some people giving Dhamma talks. So in that way, in right now, it's this happened, and then we go through by online. But in other times, we have to physically go and visit the teacher. You have to see him personally. You have to have physical. You have to see face to face in that sense. After you have investigated him or her with all her this one, at least he knows about the Dhamma. At least he's not so greedy. At least it's not so much of hate, at least it's not so much of delusion, and then you put some faith in him, you go and pay respect to him. Having paying respect to him, he gives ear. When he gives ear, he hears the Dhamma. Here, when a person does not have faith, when you do not have faith, you will not visit the person, or you do not want to pay respect to the person. You don't even hear the Dhamma from the person. So it is important when we start off, when you have that faith, you go to him, near him, and you begin to hear the Dhamma. That is how we should start our Dhamma. We should start our path. He memorized it after having heard the Dhamma, he memorized it, examined the meaning of the teaching he has memorized, and when examining the meaning, he gained reflective acceptance of those teachings. That means here, he gains reflective acceptance, means he considered wisely, yoniso manasikara. He considered them wisely. When he gained a reflective acceptance of those teaching, then the zeal arises. Zeal here means the chanda, and then you put in the will to practice right now. So you put in the will, he put in the effort, he strives, he scrutinizes. Here, that means he goes into meditation already. That means he go into to try to penetrate the true nature of things as they are. You're going to penetrate the 5 aggregates. in that sense, seeing the nature of the insight. So he realized with the body, with the supreme truth, see it by penetrating it with wisdom. Then in this way, Bharadwaja, there is discovery of the truth, but then the Buddha says, but as yet there is no final arrival at truth. Here the commentary mentioned that when he comes here, that means he can able to attain until the anagami, but not the final arrival of truth. So how do one comes to the final arrival of truth? Then you have to repeat, develop and cultivate those same things that just now we mentioned by the Buddha. That means you got to hear the person again, and you got to practice, and you got to repeat the practice again and again until the arahantship arises. So it is important that when we begin, we comes to listen, to come to meet with the person, or comes in at right now, the best we can do is online. So it is important to have that right view to arise. Okay? I take this, I look at this as something important. Because nowadays, the way there are many people in the world out there that the right view is not important anymore. All they want us to is to meditate only. Without the right view, you cannot come to the Noble Eightfold Path. Nowadays, the secular Buddhism, and it's quite powerful right now. Secular Buddhism, what it means that they just want to meditate. They don't believe in the karma. They don't want to believe in the. They don't want to believe in cause and effect. They don't want to believe that there is a consequences if one does unwholesome action, unwholesome speech, unwholesome thoughts. They don't want to have those things. They don't want this karma thing. And they don't want this rebirth thing. All the rebirth that we talk about on Monday, the 31 planes of existence, although the Buddha mentioned a lot of it, but nowadays the secular Buddhism, they want to minus those things away. And that is dangerous. And it becomes popular. When it becomes popular, it slowly seeps into our mind, and it seeps into, because when there are friends around you, people around you want that type of Buddhism or so-called Buddhism. Sometimes if we are not careful, we fall into it because it's easy. Because it's easy, it's comfortable, it feels good. The rebirth thing and the karma thing, all this, we cannot see those things, we don't want. So we don't want those things, therefore we just want the meditation alone. And they want to do the Noble Eightfold Path in that sense. That is impossible. You cannot fall into the Noble Eightfold Path. In fact, you fall into all kinds of wrong meditation. Wrong meditation doesn't mean that you do the wrong thing, Wrong meditation means you still give you wholesome merits, but you cannot get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. That means it's only mundane. It's a lot to do with it still give you merits, whether you don't want to believe it, wholesome merits actually, but you don't want to believe it. You just want to meditate peace and now, and that's it. So this is something that I want to share, because things are getting some parts of Buddhism is getting out of hand actually, because of they minus that whole right view away. So the mundane right view, it is as important as the later part, the supramundane right view, because you must start off with the right path. Now, in the mundane right view, let me share. I think I wrote something here. I wrote something here. Okay, can you all see the condition for right view right now? Okay, cannot? Okay, no, stop share. Okay. That's why sometimes it come out, sometimes it doesn't come out. All right. All right, I share again. Hey, how come this one come out again? Condition for right view to arise, can you all see right now? Condition for wrong view, okay, you can see. All right, now, here the condition for right view. So the right view here, in the earlier part, we says that the right view here consists of the Four Noble Truths, okay? Now, then you have this breakdown with this mundane and supramundane. Okay, then to break down further, then just to show you a little bit more. There are 5 types of right view. Karma, ownership, knowledge. The jhana knowledge and the insight knowledge. The insight knowledge, we talk about it in the last few talks. We talk about the first. Let me go bigger a little bit. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Come back again. Okay, can see 5 types of right view again. Can you all see? Okay. Now the karma ownership knowledge, the jhana knowledge, insight knowledge. Insight knowledge, we talk about it, the 16 insight knowledge. Of course, it's not all the 16, but first in number 1 until number 12 or 13, those before you attain the path and fruition. All insights are mundane in that sense. We talk about that. And jhana knowledge, we're going to talk about it another time. So the path and fruition, we talk about it quite a lot. That one belongs to the supramundane. But right now, tonight, we begin all these things. We want to look into the mundane part. Because the mundane part is as important as the supramundane part. So here, the karma ownership knowledge. Now, just now, when the Brother Benny was reading it, then we look into the first part of this one, the first noble truth about the karma in the Great 40. Okay, can you all see? The Great 40. All right? Can, Okay, here, there's one part here. I've talked about it some time before that, some of the talks. Here, the 5 and 6 and 7, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Here is the meaning of the, let me see, okay, whether I can go bigger or not. Again, it runs. Back to meeting. All right. So what is wrong view? And what bhikkhus is wrong view? Paragraph number 5. There is nothing given, nothing offered, nothing sacrificed, no fruit or result of good and bad actions. No this world, no other world, no mother, no father, no beings who are reborn spontaneously, no good and virtuous recluses and Brahmin in this world who have realized for themselves by direct knowledge and declare this world and the other world. This is wrong view. Of course, the right view here, it's the opposite of them. Yeah. Here, wrong view here means here, nothing given, nothing offered, nothing sacrificed. Here means out of your effort or out of your giving, you do not believe that this dana has result. You don't believe those things. They don't believe in those things that when you perform something wholesome, an act of giving food to somebody, or you help to service something, you help to clean up something with your effort, your time, and so on. So nothing given, nothing offered, nothing sacrificed. They don't believe that there is a resultant about on these things. No fruit or good, or no fruit or result of good or bad actions. So wholesome things they don't believe, unwholesome things also they don't believe that there is consequences. There is unhappy resultant in the future. Because I want to mention this again, just remind you again, is that there are people right now who wants to practice Buddhism and they don't want to believe all these type of things. They don't want to believe these things. There is no this world, there is no other world. That means they don't believe in rebirth. They don't believe in rebirth in the sense that whatever that you do here, it's already finished, died here, and that's it. You don't want to believe in there's other world. So, yeah. After all, they will say, where's the proof? Where's the proof there's other world? Where's the proof that there's no fruit and good and bad actions? Well, how are you going to see the proof then? So they want to use this scientific view and so on. Then it's impossible for you to understand. These things, whether you want to see whether there's other world or this world, or whether you have resultant and so on, this is by, if you want to directly see them, you have to develop the mind. Then actually you could able to see them. But because our delusion is so thick, you cannot able to see this thing. Therefore, we must place our faith in the Buddha. We place our faith in the Dhamma. You place the faith in the Sangha. That is how we place this faith until we can able one day perhaps we can see these things. No mother, no father. Here it means that they don't believe that. Again here, they don't believe that when you do wholesome deeds or unwholesome deeds to the father or mother, there's no resultant or there's no consequences. They not to say physically no mother or no father. No, what it means here, again is the knowledge of karma. So they don't believe this karma. No beings who are reborn spontaneously. Now, when we talk about the 31 planes of existence on Monday, that when we look in the 31 planes of existence, only human beings, we are not born spontaneously. Animal also we are not born spontaneously. Some animals are not born spontaneously. They're egg born, womb born, moisture born, and then other than that, that the beings above into the four Tawatimsa and Chatumharajika Tawatimsa, all the heavenly Deva world and also the Brahma world, they are all spontaneously rebirth. And also in the hell beings are spontaneously rebirth. In the Asuras also spontaneously rebirth. In the Peta also spontaneously rebirth. Other than that, humans and also animal, which we can see, they are not spontaneously rebirth. But it's hard for us to understand what is spontaneously rebirth. But once your mind can able to develop very far, then we can actually see that there are beings who are spontaneously rebirth. So there's no good or virtuous recluses and Brahmin. That means, again here, these people, they don't believe that there are people or there are recluses or there are monks or nuns which develop their mind in such a high degree. They're high in their morality, high in their concentration, high in their wisdom. So these now, there are people who don't believe those things. So this is wrong view. Nowadays, as I said, it is. I want to emphasize these things because hopefully you don't go and fall into it. Hopefully you don't go in the voice of another. You go and listen into it, and then you consider it wrongly or you wrong reflection. Then you fall out of the whole noble eightfold path, all development. So this is the beginning of the mundane right view. The mundane right view here, it says that affected by taints, partaking of merits, ripening in acquisition. In the mundane right view, affected by taints, partaking of merits, ripening in acquisitions. That means this right view here, if you just only have that right view about karma, just now this is the 10 wrong views and the 10 right views later on. Those are knowledge of karma. That this understanding, if you just understand those things, you cannot get out of samsara. That means it's still affected by taints. That means the taints are still hold you back, although you begin to have right view. The taints here. Partaking of merits, that means when you have right view, you will have merits. When you have right view, you will have merits. Even by understanding the knowledge of karma, before you have talking about right intention or right action or right speech, just by that right view alone, the merits already arises. And then ripening in acquisition means that because of rebirth will take place in the future, that means, in other words, there's still 5 aggregates around. There'll still be 5 aggregates. Now this one, hopefully that when we talk about them in the next week again, when we mention these things, hopefully you go through this sutta, go through this sutta, and also go through the commentary about this sutta, because sometimes the commentary helps you to make things more clearer. So here you've got 100. For example, under right view paragraph number 4, you got 1100. Under all these things, under there, all this, they have a more explanation what it means by all this. So the commentary help you to understand the sutta better. Okay, so for tonight we'll talk about this mundane right view. Later on we go into a more deeper into right intention and right all this morality, virtue, and also further on. All right, so that's it for tonight. And on Saturday, not Saturday, on Friday, on Friday, we have a Q&A session. On Friday, we have a Q&A session. And then again here, hopefully you can, hopefully you can give the questions, before 5 o'clock or in the after 5 o'clock or on Thursday or Friday. You give the question. Don't give the question right at 7 p.m. Or 8 p.m. How am I going to look up? Sometimes it's very hard for me to fit into the slot. So hopefully you can give it by like Thursday or Friday, maybe by 5 p.m. Then I can still able to go through and then can research on it, on your question. Yeah? Now, some of the questions, like last week, sometimes there are questions I can elaborate more, but sometimes there are questions I have to give brief explanation, because if you want to elaborate, that means we're going to take for a few talks. Sometimes we brief, sometimes I elaborate more. Not that I do not know some of the question, but it just take too much time. But anyway, so your questions here, you send it to Brother Benny. I think Brother Benny has put his phone number there. And then if you have questions on the Dhamma, on the talks, then you can post your questions. All right. Each person 2 or 3 questions will do. Okay. All right. So now we share merits.